What's going on, everybody? Today is Thursday, January 9th, 2025, and we are here finally, to talk about the season finale of the Challenge 40 Battle of the Eras. We had a final. Can't wait to hear what your thoughts are. All right. My name, of course, is Mr. John Duffy Judea, standing my queen with the miraculous thighs, Miss Mariah, and she's just wonderful. I'm joined, as always, by my ride or dies, Miss Gina Morgino Sorbello. I'm so happy that you're standing, Cara.
That's my girl.
Yeah, she's great. And of course, Mr. Kyle Petty Basal, standing King Ferris of Australian Survivor fame. And we are Strat Chat, your favorite reality TV podcast. Find us on the socials at Strat Chat Pod. All right, let's talk about this final. We came in.
Indeed.
Yeah, we had 8 finalists. 1 from Era 1, Miss Rachel. 2 from Era 2, Derek and Bananas. 2 from Era 3, Jordan and Tori. And then Era 4 had the most participants in the final with Jenny, Kyland, and Michelle. So yeah, I'm curious. I want to get you guys your thoughts here. We had, normally I feel like finals include a lot of running, right, between checkpoints. This one was on a boat and featured lots of swimming. So I'm just curious, I guess right off the bat, what your thoughts are on this, how the way this final was constructed. Nobody's very happy.
I thought Gina was going to say something, so I was waiting. I didn't really like it. We all know that Jordan is a beast with swimming, so I just feel like this was catered a little bit too much towards that. I don't want to say that it was stacked like for Jordan, but like I don't think we've ever seen so much water involved in a finale, and like. You constantly had to get back in it, which is my issue with it. Like if you had one leg of it that had some kind of swimming component, fine, but this was the entire thing, and it's like
that's what I was kind of thinking. Like, I don't mind, obviously, if there's a swimming component, but I want there to be swimming and running and biking. And, like, I want, like, a variety of things to go from checkpoint to checkpoint. To have the entire
because
thing
I
be
feel like
swimming
that's
was,
what
like,
tests everybody with everything. And, like, I
Right.
want to see puzzles, too, in there. I want to see all those different things. To constantly go back to the swimming was lame to me.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. And, thankfully, we didn't have anybody in this group of finalists like we've seen in the past where, like, people literally dropped out of finals because they couldn't swim or something.
Yeah.
And thankfully, all these people had the ability to swim. But for me, it wasn't fun, especially when we got to the last, few checkpoints. And it's like, okay, well, I guess Kylan's going to come in last.
Yeah.
And that sucks because Kylan is one of the people that I think I'm most excited about as like a newcomer to the show, because I feel like he's definitely going to win some of these challenges in the future.
100%.
But I felt like in this, it was like he never even had a chance. And it kind of like, I felt bummed out for him because there was that one checkpoint in particular where like he actually helped Michelle get up on that big raft and then like Rachel afterwards. And it's like, well, he might as well just help all the women here because all the guys are gone already. So he can't beat anybody at this point. So he's just helping other people. It's like,
and we've been
I felt bad for him.
I feel like we just said, was it the last time that we talked about this? Where like Kylan has been good at everything. And like I remember we saw like in the like coming in the final or whatever, it was like, oh, I guess like kind of looks like his weakness is gonna be swimming. To be so good at everything, and then the entirety of the final hinges on the one thing you're not good at. It's like, come on, like give him a shot,
Yeah, it's annoying.
You know what I also found interesting too, because it was made like a big deal throughout the season about how Jenny really doesn't have very good endurance, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like we heard her like wheezing during challenges that included running. So it was funny to have a challenge here that's all swimming, because like obviously there's a lot of cardio involved in swimming. But it's much easier for someone that has that kind of issue, like with breathing. If they don't have to run and they can swim the whole time, that makes it easier on them too. And it's just kind of like, I don't know. The whole thing just felt weird. I didn't love it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but so we had another thing I wanted to ask you guys about was this speed math that we did, right? Because I feel like they threw us a curveball here. Because TJ had this whole thing like, oh, you're gonna swim out to this island and you're gonna have a drink with me, and everybody's like, oh no, like it's gonna be a gross
There's the
drink,
eating
and
challenge.
we're all gonna be throwing up and this and that, and then like they get there and they just get coconut water, and it's like, what's 20 minus 15 times 2? I'm like, what are we doing here? Like,
No, and the fact that they have the nerve to pull out chalkboards and they're gonna like
right.
actually try and like work
Right,
it
it
out.
wasn't even hard math.
Yes, it's like I'm like, how dumb are these people actually? Like, I mean, some of these math problems were like not hard at all. Like that Tory one that the answer was like 29. It was like it was
There was
like
one that was
add
literally
this.
like, what's 20 divided by 2 plus 4? And it's like,
You know, it's like, come
you have to
on.
sit and think
And
about
everybody's
that?
whipping out their chalkboards, and it's like, this is really ridiculous. This is really like, I don't have a positive thing to say at all. Like,
I really
sorry,
wished it.
I don't want to be
Yeah.
a negative Nancy, but like,
No,
I'm so sick of this show. I'm so
I agree with
sick
you.
of it.
I wish that
Like,
they had all gotten out to that island and had to eat gross stuff or something. Like, why are we making this harder than it has to be? Like,
well, not even harder
Yeah,
than
making it harder than it has to be by making it so
yeah, I mean,
painfully easy.
they literally flipped through a second grader's math book and just went, we'll do this. And it's like, it's just stupid. It's
But they
just
sat
so
there for like
stupid.
10 minutes being like, it's like,
Ugh.
come on.
It's like, I hate this show now. I hate it.
no, it's rough.
This
It's
is up there
really
with
rough.
Temptation Island almost.
Oh my god.
Ooh.
But the math thing was also where, because we had a little group chat going during the episode, and this is where Michelle was pissing us the fuck off. Because
yeah.
what do you mean it's the final and you're asking people to let you win so you can go faster? It's the final. Who's letting you win in the you want somebody to throw you a bone right now?
Yeah.
Right now.
And you could see the inexperience of both Michelle and Kyland in this, because I loved how like Jenny got to that raft after Jordan, right? And was like, I can't get up. And the next shot was just Jordan jumping off the raft and swimming away. And meanwhile, you got Michelle helping people. You got Kyland helping people. It's like, you could tell that this was their first final. It's like, you guys won't be doing that next season.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I feel like we've seen in other seasons that like helping people isn't necessarily a terrible strategy, because someone might help you out a little bit later on in something else if you're trying to like freeze somebody out, but like you have to be strategic about how you're doing it. No,
I just feel like Michelle, yeah, like, because I guess Kyland, like we said before, like it doesn't really matter at that point for Kyland. Like he felt so defeated, you could tell. But like Michelle, you're trying to catch Jenny. Why are you helping her get onto this raft?
Yeah, yeah.
Like she's in first place right now. But yeah, Michelle killed me with that, with like helping other people and then thinking that other people should help her. Like, this is the final. Like, get it together. And I wonder how much longer she would have been stuck there if Kyland hadn't helped her as much as he did. But okay, I guess we got to talk about this coin counting, right? And the singing. What did we think about this overnight portion of this final?
Sucked.
Stupid. I didn't care about this either. Like, I'm sure that it probably was hellish to actually do it.
Of course.
But like you're in control of when you can stop counting. If you know that accuracy matters, just stop on like a fine number that you can just remember, like 1,500, 2,000, whatever it is. Like, it's not, you're just counting and singing. I mean, that's what every musician does.
Right, and I can't believe that this is, we're talking about the final here, and two of the portions we talked about were drinking coconut water and doing third grade math, and then the other part was counting coins and singing a song.
Yeah, and you're not even counting. It would have been a little bit more interesting if you're actually counting the denominations of things.
That's
I thought they were at first. Yeah.
We're literally just counting tokens.
How many there were? Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I know the number. I have to sing again. I'm gonna forget it. And it's like, well then.
I thought I was certain they were trying to count up like forms of money to like make an amount, and then as it
Right.
was
And
going
like
up,
Like
I
a,
was like, we're just
yeah,
trying to
that
count how
is a
many
challenge to
there
me.
are.
like a
Yeah,
monetary
especially
value.
if you're
Yeah.
dealing with like currency that you're not familiar with. Like
Yeah.
that would be interesting to me. You're just counting units.
Right. Yeah. No, I agree. I just thought it was funny. The best part about this was that Jenny had that freak out and decided to just quit and go to bed. So she just like threw all the coins in and gave a random number and was so much closer than Tori, who decided to stay up later than everyone else. I mean, Tori was off by like 1,000.
Right.
Jenny
I will say
literally just made up a number.
that's probably the most enjoyable part of the entire final. It's like just anytime anything negative befalls Tori, like
Tori shit the bed bad in this final. It was crazy.
I love it. Oh, you love to see it. You love to see it. I just want to see her in more distress. I wanted more fish to be nibbling at her when she was treading water with Kara. Not that I want to go back to that episode. That's the most I want to talk about that. I'm happy that we're just breezing past one. But yeah, I just like for lots of disadvantages to hit her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like when she doesn't have a good day.
That's fair.
But only in the challenge universe.
Yeah.
I wish her the best in real life.
Yeah, real life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd love to see Tori lose. I love it.
Yeah. No, totally. We got to a point where they had another checkpoint where they got these like scooters that helped them swim through the water. There's a part of me that wishes that like they just had those things the whole time to get around. Like I don't know. I just didn't have fun watching the same people swim faster than everybody else,
Right.
and the same people coming in last place every time. This wasn't fun to me because I feel like, all right, everybody can run, right? Like some people run faster than others, some people have better endurance than others, but like everybody can run, and then you have like an equalizer with a checkpoint or a puzzle of some kind. Like if you can't swim, you lost. I'm sorry. I just this whole thing was, as soon as we found out that this was all going to be in the water, I was pissed. I'm just. So if you had these scooters at least to get from one checkpoint to the other, because we saw that there was even a little bit of a learning curve with this. Jenny had a lot of trouble with her scooter, where other people were better with it. And it's like, I would have liked to see maybe how Kylan did in this if he didn't, it wasn't constantly the last person arriving to every single checkpoint.
Right. I like when there's more of a variety because it's an equalizer. It's still anybody's game. You're not seeing somebody like Jordan just like freaking mowing down all of the competition where not to get into the karma points already, but like where that didn't even matter for the men because Jordan was so far ahead of everybody else. Like, give us some things that maybe Jordan's not great at, but Kylan's really good at. Give it like some kind of variety so it's interesting to watch. It was so boring to watch this because we knew it was going to happen the whole time.
Yeah,
it's terrible.
I mean, I want to look because even Tori made a comment in this episode, right, about like, oh, this is really making me want to go home and take swimming lessons, and I have less like, I'm definitely going to give less of a benefit of the doubt to Tori because like she's been on the show for years, so like you should have known that like you should have worked on your swimming a long time ago. Kylan, he's newer to the show. It's his first final. We've never had a final quite like this. So, like, I would give him a little bit more grace, especially because I know that Kylan is going to go home and actually get really good at swimming now. Like, he's going to put in that work.
But also, like, yes, work on your swimming, but I would expect to work on my swimming. I wouldn't expect the thing I need to be the best at is swimming because that's the only thing I'm going to have to do.
Right. And that's the thing, too, because, like, even with Tori, like, Tori did have a couple of second place finishes and stuff. Kylan literally finished in last at every single checkpoint except for two. And one was the math one, where Bananas then had to literally then sit there and wait for Kylan to get back to the boat before he could start swimming back. So, like, of course, Kylan's going to beat him in that. And it's like, I don't know. I just feel like, I don't know. I'm not happy. This is season 40. This is supposed to be a milestone. You know, it's the battle of the eras, and it's just felt like a really weak final when you could have just gone back to any season in the past that was successful and been like, let's just recreate this final. This was the most popular final we've ever had. You know, talk to your
or like bits
fans.
and pieces, yeah.
Yeah, like get a focus group in there. Be like, what was your favorite season? What was your favorite final? And let's recreate that. Like, why are we trying to do all this stuff that we've never done before that no one cares about or wants to see? Okay. So after all of the checkpoints and all the swimming, we got to our results, and we found out about karma points and all that. So it looks like for the men there was no change, right? Jordan won. Derek came in second. Bananas came third. Kylan came fourth. For the women, originally our standings were going to be Rachel. Was going to be Jenny, Michelle, Rachel, and Tori. But then because of the karma points, Rachel shot up from third to a tie for first place with Jenny. So after we now have finally, I guess we never actually did find out about the karma points. I feel like I still don't really know how they work.
Reveal, yeah.
Yeah, I still don't really know how they worked. I feel like, but what do we think about karma
Kyle,
points?
would you like to take this one?
No, not really. I didn't like this either. Like, I like the idea of there being some kind of social ramification to things, but like, I don't really like it if you can't do anything about it if you didn't know about it. So,
that's my biggest problem, is that no one knew about the karma points until this moment, so they couldn't play according to how that was going to affect them.
No, so like you can't really like plan for that. Like, so much of this game is built upon like I just need to get to the end, and we get there at any point, or at any cost rather. And it's like to all of a sudden introduce this that was weighted so heavily, and I don't know.
Yeah, well, I think I messaged you guys last night about this. Is like what bothers me about this is that, like, all right, over the years we've injected more and more Big Brother people and Survivor people, and there's more of a social element to the game than there used to be, and like that's cool and everything. Like I'm fine with that, but like this is a different game than Big Brother and Survivor, right? Like those games have juries that at the end have to vote, and sometimes juries can be bitter. Sometimes they just vote for the best gameplay, but like this is the challenge where like regardless of any of the social things going on in the game, if you win that day's daily challenge, you are safe, you are good. And I feel like it's the same kind of thing with this getting to the final. It's like the social part of the game should help you get there, but then there shouldn't be any like jury management that you had to do throughout the game that's now going to affect you. Like I want to see who gets to the final, how they got there, whether it's physical, social, whatever, strategic. And then when you get there, it should just be if you perform the best, you win. And now you're going to tell me that these karma points, like essentially it feels like there's a jury, because it's like somebody that should be the sole winner now has to share this prize. And somebody that maybe should have gotten second place that earned it, like Michelle, gets pushed to third and now wins less money. And it's like Rachel has been awesome all season. She was the last player from Era 1 remaining, and she made it all the way to the final. But like she did third best in the final. She should be in third place. Like, I'm sorry. Like,
and again, like, if maybe the producers were like, okay, the twist for this season is that we're going to integrate some kind of a jury piece to it. Fine. But you have to disclose that ahead of time so that everybody knows that that's the kind of game that they're playing this season.
Yeah. They should know the game they're playing. I agree with that.
Right. Yeah. And also, like, even in the other shows that you just named that have juries, the jury piece of it is after you have earned your way to the spot to have the vote. They have done competitions. They've done things to earn their spot here. So now people are earning their way to the final and then still having to now do this grueling 2-day long stretch of competition where, like, instead of just earning your way to the final and now the vote is what carries you to the end, you're earning your way to the final and still doing these grueling, awful competitions that are worse than anything that you've done for the rest of the season, busting your ass for 2 straight days. And then after everybody has done all of this work, somebody can go from third to first just because people like you more? Like, that's bullshit. And again, like, we've been loving Rachel this season. She's been an unreal competitor, but nobody should be able to go through that entire process of the final and then skate 2 whole points, like 2 positions up, because the vote counted as 2 checkpoints. That's
Yeah, it
crazy.
just it's ridiculous. And it's like, and if you're going to introduce something like this, then your karma vote should come at a time where people can at least still explain why they made the decisions they made, because you may not have liked X, Y, and Z, and that's why you rated somebody low on this karma vote thing. But if they never got to explain why they did it or what the motivation was behind any of it, then and of course you're always just going to be bitter. Like, if you're going to let these people have a say like that, and they're not going to have a direct vote like a proper jury, then they still should have the opportunity to
Mhm.
hear why certain things were done. Um,
Right.
something, because that it could change things. Like, well, listen, I understand that's your point of view, but I saw it this way, and this is why maybe it wasn't as rude as you thought it was. So maybe I don't deserve the karma you think I deserve.
Yeah, they usually at least get a Q&A when there's a jury situation in the rest of these shows.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
even if there's not a Q&A, at least get to speak.
Mhm.
Not to mention the fact that we still don't really know how any of this went. Like, so you're
Right.
rating people. Did you? Because it sounded like they were rating them on a scale of 1 to 5.
Yeah.
Were
Mhm.
you only rating 5 people? Did you give everybody? So is it possible you could have just given 5s across the board or 1s across
Yeah.
the board because you were
We have
just
no
negative?
idea. You could.
Like,
Yeah.
you have
You could.
no idea about any of that
I
stuff.
feel like I saw Josh do something similar to that. Like, one of the few people that we got to see give their full rating. Like, I feel like
Yeah.
he gave, like, everybody in the Vacation Alliance gets a 5. Like, I feel like we saw that happen.
Yeah. It's
So
like
that's stupid. That's
right.
stupid. Like,
It's like what is like it's okay. I'm getting like annoyed now too because
the
I'm
show
like
just sucks.
because I'm like all right. You never explain the twist to the players themselves,
Right.
and you never explain the twist to the audience. So was there even a twist? like
And that's what, like, a
like
thing that I have a big problem with, and I think I said this in the chat last night too, is like, they were showing the montages of, like, who was voting for what or whatever, and you would see 2 people be like, oh, I'm giving Rachel a 5, I'm gonna give Rachel a 3, and then it was just people just saying numbers, and there was no name attached to it. So it's like, how do I know that was your vote for Rachel and not your vote for Michelle? How do I know that that's where the votes were going? You're not really showing me how people are voting. And for a show that, especially this season, is so prone to shenanigans, how am I supposed to believe that you're not fudging the numbers?
Hmm.
fudging
And if you didn't
numbers.
make it
Yeah.
count for 2 checkpoints, then Rachel may not have shot that far up.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
because you made it count
Why is it
twice, you could
two
have just
checkpoints? That's more
because
than
you just
twenty five
made that
percent.
up.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
third of the game.
That's more
Yeah,
than
you just
25% of the actual final. There was only 7
yeah.
checkpoints, and this counts for 2.
Yeah, because
That's
you
more than
just made it up
25%.
because you wanted Rachel to win.
Right.
Which is fine for me in my draft, but it does not help with the integrity of the show. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
it makes me
I
not want to watch. Well, I'm not watching anymore. I'm
right.
officially done with, like, the challenge on MTV. I know I said that pre-stream, but as we're talking about it, I realized I never want to talk about this again. Like,
Honestly, but like,
no, I
Here's
really don't want to. I'm gonna do All Stars because, like, All Stars I like, but I'm
yeah.
scared that MTV is gonna sully that as well. Like, everything that goes there, it's like a dead zone.
mm,
Um another thing that I really don't like because again, like this game, like we've said, is different from the other shows we watch, like Survivor and Big Brother, where you get pretty much, unless it's a special season, right, like an All Stars or something, you get a brand new cast every
mhm.
single season. So if you know in that kind of setting where everybody is new to each other, you kind of have a sort of an even playing field where like maybe everybody has the same chance to get the same number of karma points. But in the challenge, that's different because somebody that just got eliminated is going to give Tori or Bananas or whoever, they're going to give them less points automatically based on something they did 10 seasons ago. You know
Mhm.
what I mean?
Mhm,
It's like, oh, this
mhm.
person fucked me over in season 33, so I'm going to give them a 1 now in season 40. And it's like, all right, well, so none of this is like ever going to be level because no one's going in on an even playing field. Everybody's keeping grudges, and it doesn't matter if you haven't done anything to this person in 10 years, you're still going to give them a 1 because they fucked you over and threw them into elimination a decade ago.
It goes back to what we
I,
were saying a couple of episodes. Sorry. But I was going to say, it goes back to what we were saying a couple of streams ago, where it's like social game versus social history. We're just seeing the same season over and over and over again because it's all the same people and it's all the same interpersonal connections and drama and whatever that's never going to change.
See, and I wouldn't necessarily mind that, to be honest with you, if you were honest about what the karma vote was in the very beginning.
Sure.
Right.
Like if, because I think that's actually to the credit of the challenge is the fact that you're talking about social history over like your social game. I like that element to it.
I like it
But
too.
you've got to be
Just, yeah,
transparent about it at every
right.
single step here. Like if this is how we're playing, and I know that karma is going to have something to do with it, I know if I wronged you years ago, so I'm going to make myself that much sweeter today because I understand that my past behavior could have an effect now.
Right.
But like
And
if I
again, it has to
don't
be
think that
disclosed.
right. So if I don't know that, then like I'm going to move with the same level of aggression that I always did,
Right.
if not more so, because I already know that's a bridge burned.
Mhm.
Like, so I'm not even looking to I'm not even looking to repair it or do anything different. Like it's just even the things that they can say work for them, they don't do right. So
Right. Because I think it could be very fun and interesting if they were all aware of these karma votes being like, oh,
I'd
crap.
be fine with it.
Yeah. Like, and
Yeah.
then,
Yeah.
you know, let's say, you know, you win the daily challenge and somebody that you've screwed over years ago is one of the targets. And now you have a chance to save them. It's like, all right, let's have a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I did this to you on this other season, but I can have your back now. Like, can we work together this season now moving forward? Like that could
Yes,
set up
it
some
changes.
interesting things.
It would
It
have
sure
injected
does.
so much fun, like banter back and forth within this game rather than, because we were complaining about that too, where it's like, yeah, there's two winners of the challenges, but only one really makes the decision of who's going in. So the other one's just like, yeah, I'm not really going to make a case. Like, I'm just going to defer to you, whatever you want. And like, you're not really even getting real deliberations because it's one person's decision ultimately, even though there's quote unquote two people deciding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, maybe they'll get it right eventually. But all right,
You'll have to let me know how it turns out.
But so yes, Jordan wins his 5th championship. He really just did. He killed it. Derek,
Crazy.
Very happy for Derek coming in 2nd place. Bananas, you're just never surprised to see him in the top 3. Like it's just he just constantly is always at least in the top 3. It's never going to change. And Kyland, I see big things for, even though he came in last in this final for the men. Jenny and Rachel each split $237,500 as our co-winners for the women. Michelle gets her 3rd place finish, and Tori gets nothing. So what do we have coming up? This month, a new season of the challenge begins. The Challenge All-Stars Rivals. We have less than 3 weeks until the challenge will be on again. But before that, something that we actually are excited for, the Traitors season 3 drops tonight, right, on Peacock in what 25 minutes?
Something like that.
Sometimes they're early though. It could already be there. I remember last
be up,
season
yeah.
they were definitely dropping them at like 8:30, 8:45.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's and did you say they're dropping 3 episodes? Do we know that for sure?
Yeah.
Or?
Yeah, they're doing 3.
All right, awesome. And we believe we'll confirm on the socials, but we believe we'll be talking the Traitors on Monday night, this coming Monday.
I should be good for that.
It sounds feasible.
Monday, January 13th. So that should be the first night that we're chatting about the Traitors season 3. 8 p.m. Eastern time. Good for everybody?
I don't see why not.
Sounds feasible.
All right. So yeah, that's what we have coming up. The Traitors this coming Monday. Of course, the Challenge All-Stars, I guess we'll be talking about. And that's the future of this podcast. So find us on the socials at Strat Chat Pod. We are everywhere. Still working on Blue Sky, but we'll get there. And all right. Good night, everybody.